Welcome to the Louisville Bespoke channel. My name is Yamelka Rodriguez and I'm the founder of Louisville Bespoke. Today we have Gunnar Deatherage and this is one of his designs. And Gunnar, tell us a little bit about how you got into fashion and how you got into Project Runway.
Well, I got into fashion kind of by happenstance. It came time for me to graduate high school, and I thought about doing fashion, but I never successfully wanted to do it. I had applied to all these different schools, and in the end, my mom was like, listen, if you don't choose to go to one of these, you should just go to beauty school. And I decided to go forward with cosmetology, and while in cosmetology school, I was paying my way through it, so I was working full-time. I was working in a restaurant, and I was serving at the table that asked me, or they were talking about doing a runway show, and then asked me if I would be interested in doing the clothing for it, because I had mentioned that I had made clothing before, and I said, yeah, I'd love to do it. So before I knew it, I had agreed to make 10 of these outfits in a matter of like 2 weeks. So I just did it, and with no formal training, I just kind of like taught myself how to sew and like drape all these patterns out. And it just kind of snowballed from there. I liked the thrill of working my way up to an event, and then I guess like premiering it was a fun moment for me. So that kind of led me to work for this modeling agency in Louisville. And I started doing that in just the beauty department, and then worked my way up into styling with that. And then I found myself outside of work wanting to do photo shoots, and the only way for me to do them was to create the clothing for them, because I didn't have the money to go buy them and return them, and I didn't know anybody to loan them to me. So I was like just making clothing just to do photo shoots.
Wow.
And then suddenly the balance of that kind of became like, well, I just want to make the clothing, and I'll do the photo shoot as an afterthought. And then I was like, you know what, I should just apply for this show when I was 21. And I got accepted randomly the first time. Like I went through the whole interview process and went to Chicago for it, and then did all these like phone and psych evals, and finally got onto the show. And then that kind of just snowballed it.
So do you have a lot of different events that you do now that you kind of participated in Project Runway?
The show really opened a lot of doors for me, and Project Runway is, I think, one of the few shows out there that's exactly what it looks like. You know, there's really not a lot of fluff to it. I think some seasons are a little more dramatic than others. I think randomly my seasons are really dramatic. I think a little bit of it's my fault. But I do think that it has opened a lot of doors for me. It kind of gave me the validity of going to college without going to college for it. That being said, it does put a lot of pressure on me to be a perfectionist, because I feel like I have a point to prove rather than having a degree that tells everybody that I know how to make clothing well. I feel like I have to prove that in the product, which is kind of an interesting dichotomy.
Do you think you have to go to school for fashion design?
I don't think you have to go to school for fashion design. Do I think it's a great tool? Absolutely. Going back, I can't say that I would have done it because I found my own way to do it, and I think it's very me. I'm just headstrong in that way. But I think if I would have gone to school and learned the proper ways of doing things, I think it would have taken a little bit of the anxiety off of my boat. Just being so young and like feeling I had to prove that. That being said, like I found my own ways of doing it. Are there the proper ways out of a book? No. It's definitely my own ways, but I do believe in furthering education as far as time goes on. I feel like you can never know everything, and I definitely feel like it's important to learn from people that do know how to do what you want to do. I may do something one way, but I think it's important to know how to do it both.
I think that moving forward on this project, we will definitely want to learn so much from you, and classes that are coming up and things like that you can teach people a little bit of how you think about things, and how does the creative process kind of spark for you.
Well, it's great too to teach these classes, because I think that it's going to open a lot of doors for people at home, and know that they don't have to just design based on a pattern, or they can know that a pattern's a great place to start. I think it's definitely going to be something to get the ball rolling for these people that really are interested in fashion and are a little intimidated by it. It's just clothing.
It's just clothing, right?
It's not that intense, you know. It can be enjoyed by a lot of people.
Well, Gunnar, thank you so much for being here with us today. And we will have new episodes every week, so please make sure you subscribe. And you can follow me on the social media links below. or at louisvillebespoke.com. Thank you and see you next time.